Metro Boomin and Gucci's Drop Top WAP, the collaborative album, I feel is one of the most underrated bodies of work in Metro Boomin's discography. I don't talk with too many Gucci fans. I don't run into too many of them, but I would like to believe that Drop Top WAP is regarded highly in the Gucci fandom. I would like to believe that. But coming in at a solid 10 tracks with features ranging from Offset, 2 Chainz, Young Dolph, and Rick Ross. It Drop Top WAP from start to finish, it just keeps the pace fluently. We get some of the familiar instrumentation that we know Metro Boomin to be known for, whether we're talking about some of the haunting bass thumping 808s that we're familiar with, and at times he experiments with different instrumentation. The way it works with Gucci is just, again, it flows fluently. In collaborative efforts like Met Gala with Offset, where Offset is definitely a lot more higher pace, bringing in a different kind of energy that at times Gucci is matching off with. And as far as production credits on here as well, Met Gala was also with Southside as well as Metro Boomin. And it's definitely a braggadocious track. Something that I enjoy listening to Gucci for is when it comes to the luxurious shit. Whenever it comes to already doing enough in your career, you're well off, but you're still gonna keep going because you're Gucci. Because you're Gucci. And we got some barrage of verses on here coming in at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It is a lyrical onslaught, and to a certain degree it even feels like an Offset song with Gucci being the feature. But we got 3 whole verses coming from Offset, sounding hungry with the ad-libs, and Gucci coming in towards, I want to say the 4th verse of the song, just sort of rapping in, letting it be known like, hey, I'm also in here. Both of them being flashy, both of them, when it comes to imagery being presented on here, it feels like a visual movie. I could do better than that. It feels like you're at a shopping spree. Like the imagery here is a shopping spree of all the things they're flexing, and it works wonderfully together. I believe in total, Met Gala has like 5 verses, 4 being from Offset, 1 being from Gucci. But the reason I wanted to highlight this track is because this is, I want to say, it could be one of Offset's best features within his own career, even with collaborating in his own group with, Migos. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Both eyes closed. This is a bad track. By bad, I mean menacing. It's haunting. This is something that I consistently return to. I highlight in Metro Boomin's discography as far as like tracks that he's made that's just like, yo, this is legendary. Definitely legendary. Both eyes closed, Gucci Mane starting it off on the usual Cartier Fair frames, call me 4 eyes, and a simple wordplay like that keeps it entertaining and engaging whenever you want something that you could really just, play with the speakers booming and you're not gonna think too heavily on. 2 Chainz does a good job of, I always feel his voice, his pitch, and his tone keeps things refreshing, and then Young Dolph demanding most of the attention towards the end with his, to a certain degree, his accent, the way he's able to brag about what he's done. Same with Gucci, because they basically, long lived off 2 OGs. They got out the mud, mixtapes after mixtapes after mixtapes, and to be able to reach this state where they're just, again, braggadocious, flaunting, is thoroughly enjoyable. Another feature, of course, Lost for Words with Rick Ross. Anytime we got Ross on a feature, we could, for the most part, agree that it isn't a disappointment. There was maybe that one moment with Freddie Gibbs, I forgot the name of the track, where I was like, But we got Rick Ross, instead of the usual lyrical onslaught, taking things a bit of a step back, a bit more passive, relying more on a flow, impact, and writing the instrumentation as opposed to his own lyricism that is still catchy. And one thing that I enjoy the most about Drop Top WAP is that at times, the sort of, I wouldn't say lazy, the sort of loose, laid back hooks that Gucci presents throughout the album is contagious. Just starting off in the beginning with the $5 million intro and going off into his first verse, some Gucci Mane LaFleur make $5 million a day, continuing to play on the fact that he's making $5 million a day, ending off every single rhyme scheme with the A, the ways, relate, gate, estate, and it's simplistic, it's fun, and it's enjoyable. Going into the hook, I do feel, again, that when that loose, laid back, nice rhythm, Gucci does it the best. 5 billion intro, hurt a nigga's feelings at time, even when it does feel repetitive. It just gets straight to the point. Re-rock a break, put in the press, and then get it DDT'd. That's a pretty crazy way to start off the track and continue that momentum outward. Overall, I really believe Drop Top WAP to be packaged neatly, cohesively, and the features that we do have on here, to a certain extent, except for the Rick Ross. The Rick Ross, I could see why people don't rock with it. It is a bit more timid compared to the usual Ross, not as much of an onslaught. However, one of the best Offset features, a solid 2 Chainz feature, a great Young Dolph feature, and plenty of relaxed flows, imagery, a bit of fun wordplay, and overall just a strong sense of, hey, we the shit, and we're gonna keep rapping about it. And it's gonna sound crazy on these 808s. It's gonna sound crazy on the beat, on the bass. It just flows right through. 10 tracks, Drop Top WAP.